Well, Dad's not about today, I'm afraid. He's gone off playing with trains, you know. Well, train simulators. He said it was Train Sim World 2 and Train Simulator 2021. Apparently he's going to record something and tell you what he thinks of them. Anyway, where's that bone?
Thanks, Bracken. Good lad. Enjoy your bone. Anyway, choo choo, Thomas. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about train simulators. Not going into depth in them, just what my first thoughts are on them, really. I'm not really into trains, never have been, particularly. I did have a train set, I think, as a kid, and I probably smashed it up if I did have one. I'm sure I did. Anyway, I love simulators on the computer, Flight Sim and various other simulators, Euro Truck Simulator and that, they're brilliant. And for some bizarre reason, I thought I'd have a look at train simulators. And two took my eye, both from the same developer, Train Simulator 2021 and Train Sim World 2. So I thought I'd give you a quick look at them both and see what you think. I'll start off with Train Simulator 2021. I think I paid about, well, both of them I bought on sale from Steam, and they were both reasonably cheap. I think this was $11.99 and Train Sim World was $19.99 or something like that. So this is Train Simulator 2021. As you can see, it opens up with a nice picture of three trains, whoopie-doo, and then you get this this menu system come up. If you want to do training, you go on to Academy. If you want to drive a train, you go on to Drive. There are things you can do a profile. I've not really looked at build. I've only had this about a day or so. So we'll have a look at the Academy for training. So there we go. Click on Academy, and it offers you training on various locomotives. So we'll click on this one. I say I've only had this a day, so I'm not very au fait with it really at the moment. And that offers you got four trains there, one of which is a steam train, and I've already completed these, but I'll show you them again. And it's in quite good really. You can click on controls and you can do either controls or driving, gives you objectives, signalling, things like that. But we're going to go with controls, and it's swapped us back to a different locomotive now. It's not very intuitive, the controls of the system on this, I find. I think it's a bit weak. Anyway, so there we go. So set primary controls, and we'll click on start. You could change the weather and the time of day and things like that as well, I believe. I have loaded a couple of scenarios on this, and it's been so dark you couldn't see sod all. So a bit of a waste of time. And there's our train sat at the station, or sat somewhere anyway, sat at a platform. And it comes up with all this information here. This is the cab of the British Railways 4F steam locomotive. In this lesson we will learn how to start and stop. The camera will change each time the control is set correctly. Close these message boxes to continue. Anyway, there we go, panning down. Turn the reverse into full forward. Do this by rotating it all the way anti-clockwise. Now it's not easy with a mouse, it seems to want to go back the same way again. There we go. Now release the brakes by moving the lever to off, and it shows you a little picture there, so we're talking about this gauge here. And it stayed blurry. Finally, open the regulator by moving it upwards until vertical. And again, the screen's got all blurry. You can change camera views. There we go. As I say, the controls on it don't seem all that intuitive to me. I'm sure there are some people who get on great with it. So that's that. There's lots of other things you can do in here. You can change the settings for your computer and things like this. So that's my first look really at Train Sim 2021. I have installed the Cornwall or Cornish route on here as well. I was quite disappointed that it really doesn't give you any lessons or scenarios for it. It just lets you free drive up and down it. And Train Sim World 2. Now again, there are add-ons for this. This is the basic program. And I think this one's a fair bit better, although you make your mind up. And basically you've got 3 different routes on, or 3 different scenarios on here. London Underground, which I've played, is quite good. German high-speed train, or an American sandpatch grade train. Now that's the one we're going to look at. The scenery in this, is, as you'll see in a moment, is a lot better. What we want to do is explore, training, there we go. Even though it's still, you've got to learn the menus and that, it's a lot more intuitive than the version 2021 for sure. And this is what they call the sandpatch grade. American locomotives.
Welcome to Train Sim World 2, an immersive and highly detailed rail simulation featuring authentic routes and trains from around the world. You've just been awarded some action points. These are displayed in the top right corner of the screen and count towards your overall experience. It is necessary to be fully observant of the surrounding world. Practice. Besides operating trains, there are lots of requirements to navigate on foot. Try moving around now.
So you see these points that come up here, this is where you've got to go to. I wonder if you went down that way how far you could get. Anyway, you won't try for a moment. A lot of detail, even the edges of the paths and the trees and the grass and everything. It's very detailed, I think. There you go, you follow these marker points. There's another one there which we just skipped a moment. Close up things like this aren't great in detail, but they're pretty good. A little garden bench, and there's even some rubbish in the bin. So not bad at all really, as far as it goes for detail. Amazon's bin.
This is one of many interactives to be discovered, but not all of them will be as easy to find as this one.
And then it tells you to go
Climb
to the
aboard
train.
and take a seat in the cab with the engineers for a short ride.
So it tells you there, that marker, look, you can go back here, but actually it's a load of rubbish. What you do, you go to these steps, and you press E, and you climb up. Open the door by clicking on it, which goes through you. Open the other door. Close that one. No, close the wrong one then. There we go. But yesterday when I played this, practicing it, there was someone sat in that chair. Anyway, what we want to do is sit in the engineer's seat. So well, tell them to sit in that seat, okay?
You can pause the experience at any point and review previous and current objectives. Check it out now, and then return to the game when ready.
It wants us to practice pausing, so we'll do that briefly, and then resume.
A lot of time will be spent operating trains, so when ready, sit in the engineer's seat.
This is like musical chairs. It made me sit in this one, now it wants me to sit in that one. So we press E, go across, press E, sit in the engineer's seat. A lot of detail in the cab.
A heads-up display has appeared on the right side of the screen. This is a guide to what the train is doing. This is the speed display. The white needle shows current speed. The red marker indicates the maximum permitted speed. This is the direction display. An arrow will indicate forward, reverse, and neutral directions. This is the power display. A number will indicate what position the power control is in. These are brake indicators. They show the state of the various brake systems, allowing independent management of them. In the top right are the signal and speed limit displays. These feature an indication of what is approaching and a countdown distance to when they will come into effect. Some of these displays can be hidden via the settings menu for a more challenging experience. This train is ready to go. Pull the indicated handle all the way back to get moving.
Now, it set up the train pretty much for us, but when you get further into different scenarios, you've got a lot more settings to do to set the train up. It's not a case of sit in it and push the power handle, which this is set up for us to do. You have to turn the engine on. If it's an electric railway, you have to put the pantograph up. And there's so many working buttons that you can move around and find, but not at the moment during the training. So you push the handle forward, as it says. There we go, power handle, back, and the train should start moving. Decrease in independent brake, it's told us. There we go. And there we go. Nice flowers.
Sandpatch Grade offers the ability to operate powerful and heavy freight trains on one of America's most stunning and famous railroads.
So all in all, I'm very impressed with this compared with the 2021
You are currently
version.
riding an AC 4400 CW locomotive. These are the workhorses of trains operating over the Sandpatch Grade, with CSX Transportation having more than 600 in its roster.
So all in all, very impressed with that. I don't know what you think. Again, there are different camera views and you get rid of things like that.
Train Sim World allows you to ride and drive trains from a selection of internal and external camera angles. Let's take a look now by exploring the exterior of this train.
There we go. It's pretty detailed and very impressed really, even if you don't like
Other internal and
trains
external camera
particularly.
views are available to the explorer. These can be accessed from the number.
There you are, sat in the train. There's a lot of detail. So there you go. I don't know what you think of it, but I quite enjoy this Train Sim World 2. Train Sim World 2021, not so impressed with. But I'll leave it with you. See what you think. But for the price of this simulator, even if you don't like trains, I'm sure you'll be impressed. I certainly was. So take care. Have a nice day. Choo choo, Thomas.